I just returned from Alaska, and this got me thinking, why did Russia sell Alaska in the first place? To do this, we're going to be looking at both the Russian perspective and the American perspective as to why Russia sold the territory and why America bought the territory of Alaska. So, from the Russian perspective, Alaska was remote and difficult to defend. There's the Bering Strait separating the two land masses of Asia and North America. And there are lots of mountains on the coast of Alaska. They basically go right up to the coast almost, with the cities such as Juneau tucked in between the coast and the mountains. I should mention I went on the Inner Passage, so that is my experience with Alaska. I went on an Inner Passage cruise, so my experience is strictly on the Inner Passage, not the area around Anchorage. Second reason, decline of the fur trade. The fur trade of otters was a very profitable trade for a long time, kind of like the fur trade in beaver pelts down in the lower 48. I shouldn't say kind of, it was like that. But like that fur trade, the fur trade in Alaska declined as well. And by the 1850s, it was not very profitable. Also, throughout the 19th century, Alaska acquired new land from China. That is including the Kamchatka Peninsula and the areas in the far east of Russia. They gained a couple new ports as well, which gave Russia better access to East Asian ports and, for example, China. Also, Russia accrued debt from the Crimean War, and they lost that battle to France, uh, Britain, and some other countries as well. So they needed to pay off debt from that war. Russia did not want Britain to access Alaska. That's what that should say. Russia did not want Britain to access Alaska because after they lost the Crimean War, Russia did not like Britain, as well as France and other countries. The Tsar of Russia was also under internal pressure from the rest of his family and his other advisors. Lastly, there was a mindset in Russia that Russia should be paid for Alaska before Alaska was seized by America, as America was expanding westward through Manifest Destiny. And Alaska was thought as the last part of Manifest Destiny in terms of spreading from the East Coast to the West Coast, from sea to shining sea. Who was behind the American purchase of Alaska? Well, William H. Seward was, or Seward. He had an expansionist mindset, which basically means acquired territory. He wanted to acquire territory. He was not shy about how he wanted Alaska to be American. As I mentioned on the last slide, Russia did not want to sell Alaska to an enemy, as it had just lost the Crimean War to Britain, France, and Turkey. Turkey was the other one that I missed. The US and Russia both did not like Great Britain. Russia, as I already explained, lost the Crimean War. The US, of course, gained its independence from Great Britain. So there was a mutual dislike there for Britain between the two countries. And New Englanders in America, so the northeast of the US, were eager to access Alaskan waters for fishing. Charles Sumner's support of this was key as well. He gave a great speech that helped win over a lot of people. This purchase was initially unpopular. Seward's Folly is an example of what it was called. However, gold was discovered in the 1890s in Alaska, the early part of that decade in the panhandle of Alaska. and later on up in Nome in 1899. So all throughout the 1890s, there was discovery of gold in Alaska. In conclusion, Russia sold Alaska because it was hard to access, expensive to hold on to, and take over by another country such as the US or Britain was inevitable. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Let me know what you want to see from this channel in the future in terms of other videos. Thank you for watching.